Welcome to Get Roaring. I'm Rory. Fancy meeting you here. It's time for some NHL franchise mode, where we're trying to save the Buffalo Sabres. Trying to save the Buffalo Sabres. That's what we're trying to do. And, I mean, we got a pretty good team. Obviously not the best team yet, but we're in a playoff spot right now. And I would say we're in a playoff spot pretty handily, because the Red Wings are 8 points behind us. They're fighting for the wild card spot with the Islanders. But the Islanders could just as easily pop up where the Flyers are. So I think we're in good shape right now. Before the trade deadline, the deadline is on the 9th, we have a grudge match against Washington. Colton Ellis is in net. He's doing okay. Dustin Wolf is coming back on the 19th. Budalainen is coming back on the 22nd. So soonish. Like here. This week here, we'll have our players back. So 5 games between now and then. Before we get Wolf back, maybe 6 games. I think we're in an okay spot where we could let Ellis run with it for 6 games. How has it looked for the last little bit? Not the best. We hit a bit of a rough patch, but I'm guessing this is in conjunction with Wolf being hurt. Which does not fill me with a whole lot of confidence should we get into the playoffs and Wolf gets hurt. And maybe it's not particularly Ellis's fault, but maybe it's Brennan. Like how's Brennan's been doing poorly? So Brennan is not an adequate replacement. Ellis is okay. He's won more than half of his games. He's 900 with a 315 as a backup. That's okay. Brennan has lost us 6 games easily. That's rough. So maybe what we need to do is replace Brennan? Like I don't know what's going to be sufficient in that regard. It's going to be much better. Probably like a veteran. Because we're not going to go all out. Like Matt Murray is about similar to Ellis. Might be a decent just swap. See if I can swap him and Brennan. That might work. Brennan actually has slightly more value. I guess because he's still youngish. Like, he's been fine in the A, but been a bit of a disaster in the NHL. Maybe we just need to get rid of Brendan to to have DiPietro be the option? I don't know. Like, if we can do Matt Murray and a pick, that would actually be better. Or upgrade a pick. Maybe we can upgrade a pick? They don't have any thirds, do they? Woefully insufficient. Alright, I'm okay with that. Stacking up goalies. Got a lot of goalies around now. Brennan's gonna go through waivers. I don't know if like the computer forces them through waivers, then it makes a difference, but we could probably send him down. If we lose him, I don't think it's the end of the world. Alright, nobody took him. We're good. So we'll go with Ellis and Matt Murray for the moment. I don't know if there's anything else I want to do, so maybe we'll just we'll just go with it at the deadline and see what happens. See if we get offered anything. Let's head to the deadline. We're going to be a buyer. Kirby Doc. And Will Cooley is still not signed. But he can't even play this year, even if he had him. Dylan Cousins and Arthur Kaliev to Montreal in exchange for Walls, a second, and Eliasson. Okay. Bob is up there. Devils trade Siegenthaler, Fleury, and Bluger to Florida in exchange for a first rounder and Goldman. Is Florida selling off? Or sorry, are the Devils selling off? Yep, the Devils are selling off and Florida's buying. Pittsburgh trades Tomasino and a fifth and Alexiev to Vancouver in exchange for Connor Garland. Okay. I mean, TJ Ginla is up there. Like, let's see what they want. Was that Utah? Oh, Byram, Ladd, and Mohamedulin. So, like, two of our defensemen. Budalainen and Simashev. Again, two of our defensemen. Kairu, Ladd, Mohamedulin, Logan Cooley. Okay. Or Beniers. I don't know. I'm not really sold on anything there. The Ducks make a trade? Lilleberg, a second and a third to Utah in exchange for Tage again. Okay. So the Ducks go and trade for Teach. Like right after we put down the phone, they got a deal done. I kind of like our defensive depth going into the playoffs. I don't really want to mess with that unless we see something that's really good. That's really different. But I think we're okay. Oh, the Flyers made a deal. Owen Tippett and Zamula to the Wild in exchange for Wallstead and Bennick. Okay, wow. That is a deal. Sid has 40 this year. Goodness. I'm just kind of curious. I don't think anything's happening here, but I'm assuming he's still on Pittsburgh. No trade clause. Still making 12 mil at 41. Sidney Crosby. Goodness. 40 goals, 27 assists in 58 games. 41 years old. What a guy. Sid is still amazing. Florida Panthers trade a first rounder to the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for Dan Vladar and a third and a fifth. Wow. Florida is all in. All in. Tampa Bay? They trade Hagel and a third to Minnesota in exchange for a first. And I'm guessing a couple prospects? Wow. Winnipeg Jets. Trade Carrier a fourth and a sixth in exchange for Heineman and Farrell. Calgary has Kadri on the block. It's kind of interesting. A first and cheese stuff to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for Cop, a third and a sixth. Like, first rounders are flying. They are flying. I've never seen the computer like dish first rounders like this before. Morning, Al. How you doing? I had to start a bit early today because I got to head out at 11. So we got going. Utah Mammoth trade a second and Aikila in exchange for Boqvist, a fourth and a fifth. The only thing I did of consequence so far is I traded one of our lower end goaltenders and some draft pick exchange for Matt Murray because Brennan was not winning in the NHL. So I figured I would acquire more goaltending depth. That's all I did. Lafreniere has really kind of fell off. He's only 19 though. Top 9 forward. I thought he was higher than that. That's okay. He still has time. The Flyers trade a second and a third to St. Louis in exchange for Zach Jones and a third. Otherwise, I haven't been doing much. I haven't done much trade wise. I've looked around a little bit of window shopping is all that's happened. I don't know, cause like I'm kind of okay with where our situation is at. If I look at defense, right? We got Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, Bo Byram, Condre Miller, and then Voutilainen and either Simashev or Muhammad Dulin. And that's our 7. So I'm okay there. If I look at forwards, we're looking at Boldy, Cooley, Thompson, Beniers, Kyrou, and like I would think Geeky, but for some reason they won't stick him on the second line. And then, although Geeky is a top 9 exact, it's weird. He's 30. I don't know if he's like punching above his level, but and then we have Tamura, Hellenius, and Coolidge as our third line. And then fourth we have Honzik, Howard, Gonsalves. Like we have a bunch of guys at 80, 81. So not too concerned with that. And our goaltending, right now, Dustin Wolf is out for another 10 days or so. And then he'll be back. So we have Ellis and Murray right now. And then we have Brennan and DiPietro. And Brennan didn't do very well, but now we have Matt Murray and DiPietro in case we need another goaltender. So I'm not sure. And Ellis has been doing fine. Like, Ellis has won 15 of 25 games with a 903 and a 302. He's okay. I think he just needed another backup because Brennan play in 6 games was an 834 with a 443, and it's like that wasn't good enough. So I got Matt Murray, who's got 13 wins, but he's a 900 at 298. So his numbers are fine, putting in a situation like we have. Other than that, we have DiPietro, and that's in the AHL. Although this might be in the AHL too. His NHL numbers. Yeah, he's 113, lost 14, 900 with a 298. So good enough. Good enough for a backup's backup, I think. So I'm not really sure what to do. The only thing I can kind of think of would be pick up somebody like Kadri for it, like one year. If we wanted some depth, that would be an option. Just like rental depth. Same with maybe Nick Paul. Something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. But it's not. I don't know if we have any like real needs without doing some kind of big deal. So I don't know if I just want to stand pat, or like if I was to go take a look at Kadri, for instance. Like, what would they want for him? You're looking at like Howard in a 4th, or Simashev in a 4th, or Kulich, or Hanzik. Something like that. So I don't know. I would probably try and change it so it was just picks, but Utah Mammoth trade a 2nd and probably Giovanni Smith. The Islanders for Holmstrom a 6 and a 6. Okay. Like Howard. What's Howard's worth? Howard is down here. Like Gonsalves maybe. Gonsalves another pick. I don't know. I don't know if it's like worth worrying about. Who's that? Kadri? I mean, we could try and like... we can go with like Gonsalves in a 4th. Kind of the same thing. Calgary would be under the league minimum salary cap. I mean, I don't know. That brings up more difficulty than it's worth, I think. Oh, okay. Never mind. That's all for that. Jeff Skinner, what's up? Couldn't figure out something. That's okay. We did our work. Florida went all in. All in. We got Ottawa down here. We can go with Ottawa. Where was Ottawa in the standings? Below us. They're at 60 points. Okay. 28, 32, and 4. Well, we'll do a little sim. Why not? We got Toronto next week. We should have Dustin Wolf back next week. Kairu gets one on Bobrovsky of Ottawa. That's wild. Well, 1 goal, 14 shots, nothing else happening. Howard gets one in on Bobrovsky. Texia gets one in on Bobrovsky. Our bottom 6 is doing work here. Tamura gets one in. Power play for us. Borkin gets a shorthanded goal. Goodness. Beniers puts one in. Bob, what are you doing, bud? You were on the trade block there. All right. Third period. Stützle puts one in on Ellis. Make it 5-2. So far, Ellis has done his job, 2 or less. Tage Thompson gets in on the action. He says, well, if the bottom 2 lines are scoring, then I want in too. 6-2 win over Ottawa. Good stuff. 3 stars, definitely not Bob. Beniers 1 and 2. Tamura 1 and 1. Mohamedou 2 assists. Good stuff. All right. 1 week we have the Leafs. We should have Dustin Wolf back. Oh, what does Kairu want? What are you doing? Oh. Okay. It doesn't seem to want to change, alright. Against Pittsburgh, 5-2 win. Or nothing loss against the New York Islanders. Alright, we got the Leafs. The Leafs are 41-20-9. We're 39-25-3. And in the Atlantic Division, we're not just behind them. We're behind them by 10 points. We're 2 points up on Montreal, but the Red Wings have taken the wild card spot from the Metro. The Capitals are at 71, so they're tied in points, but the Red Wings have the tiebreaker. I guess by losses or games in hand, something like that. We got the Leafs and we got Detroit, so let's see how this goes. Leafs should be a challenge. Willie scores on the power play, first 2 minutes of the game. Not the start I was looking for. Beniers gets winning on Joseph Wall. That runs out the first. We got 14 shots on the Leafs. Matthias Michelli puts one in 2-1. From like right on top of the crease there. Hollander puts one in 3-1 for the Leafs. Power play for us. Beniers scores, but not on the power play. I guess just after. Rasmus Dahlin gets one in from like the same area. Ties the game at 3. Changing power plays back and forth. Nothing doing, though. Rasmus Dahlin gets one in on our 39th shot. Goodness. 4-3 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. 39 shots to 28. Goodness. I mean, Joseph Wall tried, but 2 goals for Dahlin and Beniers and 3 assists for Owen Power. Good stuff. Good win over the Leafs. Let's take a look at the lineup for a second. We'll get to Detroit because we should have some players back. All right. Let's take a look at the lines. Wolf is back with Ellis. All right. Let's do head coach preferred. Okay. I'm surprised Geeky is not overly angry about his situation, but maybe they're doing well, so he's not too worried about it. All right. Everything looks good there. Who is scratched right now? Cowan, Gushin, and Simashev. I think I'm okay with that. All right, we got a grudge match against Detroit. Let's sim this as well. Get ready for the grudge match. All right. Fire it up. Lots of shots. Nothing doing. 5-on-3 for Detroit. Also nothing doing, which is good. Paige Thompson gets one in on Casa. Gives us our first goal. Zuccarello gets a power play goal on Wolf. Tying it up at 1. We're still got the edge in shots, though. Alright. 1-1 after 2. Howard scores one on Costa just after the power play, it looked like. Paige Thompson gets one in. We've run out the clock. 3-1 victory over Detroit. Good stuff. Dustin Wolf, 28 stops. Tage Thompson with 2 goals. And Cooley with 2 assists. Very, very good. I think it feels like we're heating up at the right time. That's kind of what it feels like. And we have Montreal. I think we're just going to go ahead to Ottawa here and see where we stand. We start to hit a bit of a slide. Turning around against Montreal. We've sort of solidly placed ourselves in third at this point, I think. The Leafs and the Panthers have locked up their spots. We're at 91. We're 4 points ahead of the Canadiens, that's good. The Red Wings are at 82. They're still ahead of the Devils, so we have... Right now, we still have 5 teams in the Atlantic. The Sens are out, like way out. 31, 40, and 5. Howard gets one in on Bob. Last time we lit Bob up. Beniers gets one. Might be a replay. Power play. Coolidge gets one in on the power play. Okay. Okay. 3-0 after 1. Power play for Ottawa. Nothing doing for them. Tolly gets one immediately on the power play for us. All right. 4-0. Ottawa's having a rough time. That's what's happening here. Another power play goal from Howard. Tage Thompson gets it on the action. 6-0. Texier 7-0. Goodness. Okay. Okay. Kyrou gets one in. Allmark's in net now. Bob has been yanked. They put Linus Allmark, who was the backup to Bob. That's wild. Oh, this is a 2029. It's 3 years from now, so... You know. Darlene gets one in on Allmark. 9-0. Couldn't make it 10. Couldn't make it 10. 3 stars. Kyrou 1 and 3. Darlene 2 and 1. And Howard 2 and 1. It was point night here in Buffalo. Alright, let's see where we stand. Oh, we have Detroit. Oh, it's okay. That's okay. We lost to Detroit 5-4. Little bit of a slide-ish there at the end of the season. Kind of back and forth. We've locked up a playoff spot, though. 97 points. We are not solidly in third, but we're solidly in the playoffs. Montreal is in at 96. The Red Wings are at 87. So this win mattered for them. More so against the Capitals and the Devils have 1 game left each. Does Detroit have any games left? Detroit has 1. So we bump up to third, or we're in third. Canadians are at 98. Detroit just doesn't make it. Just. The Devils pull into the wild card spot. At 41, 35, and 6, the Red Wings are 40, 34, and 8. So more home win or more regulation wins would have helped Detroit there. They just don't make the playoffs. Just. Oh, we got the Leafos in the first round. We got the Leafos. All right, let's take a look around. I guess Rochester? I don't know if Rochester's in the playoffs yet, but... Alright, let's take a look. See what's going on. Point-wise, Rasmus Dahlin led the team with 77 points, 22 goals, 55 assists. Boldy had 65 points, 18 goals. Cooley, 26 goals, 63 assists. Tage Thompson, 28 goals and 62 assists. Kyrou, 21 and 55 points. Owen Power, 50 points. Howard, 47. Geeky, 47. Beniers, 44. Like, really low point totals for most of the team. But we won games. So if we weren't scoring them, we must have been stopping them. Our plus minuses look pretty good across the board. Let's take a look at our goalies. Justin Wolf, 29, 19, and 1 with a 906 and a 262. Like, not breaking records. 905 and a 288 for Ellis. So it wasn't goaltending. It must have just been flat out defense. Our defense was just spectacular. And Kyrou was shooting at a 17% pace, so he was actually shooting well. Thomas was shooting decently. Cooley was shooting well as well. Boldy was not great. Beniers not great. Cool is really not great. Mohamedulin abysmal, but not really worried about that. Voutilainen had 8 points in 69 games. It was a +6 though. I'll take it. All right. Let's look at league-wide. Connor McDavid, 47 goals, 115 points. Draisaitl, 54 goals, 111 points. Goodness. Austin Matthews, 56 goals and 98 points. Rantanen, 44 and 95. Bedard had 53. Who is the... So, Matthews wins the Richard. Crosby was up there. Crosby had 46 and 77. Goodness. At the age of 41. What a guy. Cale Makar had 88 points. Okay. Hughes had 95. Oh my gosh. Willie at 84. Crosby at 83. There's like a 9-year difference between the two of them. Crosby was a negative 14, but, you know, I'm not going to hold that against him. Chuck had 41 and 80. Celebrini, 41 and 78. Oh, he's maybe had some injury problems. 79? He only missed 3 games. Eichel, 78. Who led in assists? Probably McDavid. Nope, Quinn Hughes. Reinhardt, McDavid, Makar, Morrissey. Am I like all the way at the top? Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at the playoff matchups. Obviously, we have the Leafs, New York and Philly, Montreal, and Columbus. Montreal is already up 1-0. New Jersey has the Panthers, and New Jersey is up 1-0. Surprising. Avalanche have the Jets. The Blackhawks have the Golden Knights. And Vancouver has Seattle. Edmonton against Dallas. Edmonton against Dallas in the first round, not the Western Final. Interesting. Well, we have a bit of time, so I think I have like 10 minutes, so I think we can get started against the Leafs. So let's take a look at our lineup just to be sure. So Boldy with Cooley and Thompson, Coolidge with Beniers and Kyrou, Howard with Geeky and Honzik, Elenius with Tamura and Texier on defense, Darlene Power, Byram Miller, Mohamed Doolin, Voutilainen, and our goalies, of course, Wolf and Ellis. We can do a little simming. Ooh, one thing we need to make sure we do is charge people more for tickets. This is key. It's the playoffs. People can't be happy except for what's happening on the ice. All right. That's good knowledge. All right. Game 1. Toronto versus Buffalo in Toronto. Let's see how we do. Cranker up to 8 times. Nick Waugh scores on Dustin Wolf in the first 2 minutes. Goodness. Matt Boldy puts one in on Joseph Wall. All right. 1-1 after 1. Willie puts one in on the power play. 2-1 for the Leafs. Power play for us. We get like a shot. Power play for the Leafs again. Nothing doing there. Austin Matthews does score on the power play. My mistake. 3-1 for the Leafs going into the third. Mm-hmm. 5-on-3. Logan Cooley gets one. Brings it to 3-2 with 8 minutes left. Paige Thompson ties it with 45 seconds left to push it to OT. Goodness. Power play. Nothing doing. We got 44 shots to 30, 45 to 39, and Matty Beniers scores with 1:33 left in OT. Goodness. Beniers, first star, 1-1. Tage Thompson, 1-1. And John Tavares, goodness, 3 assists. Johnny T, still doing work. Well, we take game 1 in Toronto. Good stuff. Well, 4-3 overtime win. We had a lot of shots on. That was a good sign. All right. Game 2. Owen Power scores off the hop. Power play for us. Tage Thompson puts one in. 2-0 lead so far. Power play again. Willie gets one back. 2-1. 5 minutes left in the first. Let's continue. Power play for Toronto. Nothing doing. Third period. Howard puts one in to give us a little insurance. About 5 minutes left. Toronto gets a power play. Johnny T on the power play with 3 minutes left. Nick Waugh probably pulled the goalie, ties it up. We're going to OT. Power play for Toronto. Nothing doing. Tight series so far. Both teams over 40 shots at this point. Oh, it's over. Matty Beniers. In overtime again. It's like, oh, you wanted to trade him, did ya? Matty Beniers. Overtime hero, Rasmus Dahlin. I don't know. I think Beniers would be the first star here. Dahlin, three assists. Howard, 1-1. Owen Power, also 1-1. We take both games in Toronto, much to the chagrin and anger of Toronto fans. We're taking it back to Buffalo with a 2-0 series lead. It looks like the Rochester Americans have also made the playoffs. Good stuff. Who are they facing? They are facing the Utica Comets. Battle of Upstate New York. Excellent. Alright, game 3. Been tight. Both games, 4-3 wins in OT. Power play for us. Kesselring puts one in on Wolf. 1-0 for Toronto. Hellenius gets it right back, though. Good stuff. Our team is showing resilience. I like it. Maybe a little poise going on? Maybe? Maybe? Long power play for Toronto there. Power play opportunities for both. I think Toronto had a major or a double minor there. Nothing doing in the second. 1-1 still headed into the third. Power play for Toronto. We can't keep giving them opportunities. They're going to cash in at some point. They pushed on the shots. They're up to 28. We haven't pushed on shots in a bit. Toronto is pushing hard. Power play for us, though. Can we turn it around? Nothing happening. Third game in a row, we're going to OT. It's over quick, folks. Jonathan Taves of the Toronto Maple Leafs. What? In 2029. Scores the game winner. Kesselring 1-1. Both goalies get in there with superb performances. 2-1 victory for the Leafs. They're not going quietly into the night. All right. Well, I think we'll do pivotal game 4 next time, and we'll continue our playoffs because I gotta get going. But I appreciate you joining me, even if it was for a little while. You can always go back and watch the whole thing. You can like and subscribe and that whole deal if you're so inclined. I appreciate it at any time. There's also more of this on my channel. There's also baseball, other games, all sorts of stuff there if you want to check it out. Hours of entertainment, I hope. Hours of me. I don't know if that's entertaining, but I'm here. You know, well, there. I was here. Then. And now. Anyway, that's some timey-wimey stuff. But that's it for today. So have yourself a good weekend. Appreciate every minute you spend with me. Go Canada. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And, you know, have yourself a good one. Bye for now, folks.